They say we offer simple answers to complex problems. Well, perhaps there is a simple answer. Not an easy answer, but simple.
Ronald Reagan liked to say that our problems had simple solutions. They weren't easy, but they were simple and clear. And I think nowhere is that more true than when it comes to economics. We know what works, and we know why it works. And don't worry, if we stop arguing about economics, there'll still be plenty else to bicker about, from foreign policy to social policy. Politicians, commentators, and citizens won't run out of things to argue over. Instead, we find ourselves going over the same old ground again and again in economics because, as P.J. O'Rourke pointedly observes, ignorance is a renewable resource, especially when people have this passionate desire to believe they can get something for nothing. They keep thinking of new ways to do it. And that's why I cannot too strongly recommend one of the books that changed, well, I don't know if it changed my life, but it certainly changed my way of thinking, Henry Hazlitt's Economics in One Lesson. It was first written in 1946, and it remains the indispensable primer on how economics works and how it doesn't. Now, Hazlitt didn't get there first. He was actually working from a marvelous essay by the 19th century French economist and libertarian Frédéric Bastiat. Tragically died young, but before he did, produced this essay, Ce qu'on voit et ce qu'on ne voit pas, what one sees and what one does not. And on that basis, Hazlitt proceeds to unravel the mysteries and sophistries of economics in a way that you really do have to read. You'll save yourself a lot of heartache and a lot of headache because Hazlitt is such a good writer. I mean, I love his phrases like, today is already the tomorrow the bad economists told us to ignore yesterday, a pointed jab at John Maynard Keynes, and a thoroughly justified one. Certainly, 70 years on, it's justified. He also explodes fallacy after fallacy with a deft pen. For instance, this whole idea of job creation. He says, if you're really interested in creating jobs, why don't you ban railroads and have people carry freight between cities on their backs? And if that's not a good idea, then neither is any of these other job creation schemes that reduces efficiency in the hope that it will somehow make us richer. But my favorite part of the book, and this is where he is most directly channeling Bastiat, is his summary in one sentence of economics, that it consists of looking not just at the short run and those immediately affected, but at the long run and everybody. If you start doing that, you'll never fall for this airy chatter about infrastructure stimulating the economy. I mean, sure, when the government builds a highway, yes, they pay money to contractors, the contractors pay their employees, the employees go off and spend money at the dentist and get piano lessons for their kid, all that kind of stuff, and say, oh yeah, there's a multiplier effect, as Keynes called it. The problem is there's also a divider effect, because when the government pays for the highway, it takes money out of the pockets of people who can no longer afford to go to the dentist or get their kids piano lessons. It just cancels out. Now, sometimes a highway is a good idea. It's worth building if it helps people get from a place they are to a place they want to be. But that's the way we should be talking about it, on the merits of the project. And if more people would read Hazlitt, they would understand that there is no free lunch, and we could go on to bickering about things that are at least more complicated. Because when it comes to economics, our problems do have simple solutions. They may not be easy, but they are simple. And if you read Henry Hazlitt's Economics in One Lesson, you'll know what they are.